And good morning, y'all. Welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster. I'm touching base with you, and I have my partner in crime, Mr. Chris Edwards. What's going on, Chris?
Nothing, man. Good morning. Good morning, Touch Base Daily family. How's everybody doing today?
Like I told you, this weather makes me happy. It makes me happy. But however, yesterday was a crazy day. Yesterday, literally everything I touched had a glitch. It didn't matter where it was, what I was doing, even to the point where the first time I've ever experienced my website going down. And so I was like, wait a minute, I can't get to my website. And I'm looking and I got all these error messages. And then so I send that email out to Squarespace. And they said, oh, we're so sorry. We're having problems with our site today. We're working on some changes. We're working on this. Sorry for, and then blah, 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 blah. And we apologize.
That's rare.
I have never, I've been on Squarespace for 7 years.
Well, here's the thing with Squarespace. That was their motto at one point, that they never go down. And ever since they, this other company bought them, they've been having like technical issues. As you know, I told you I got rid of my Squarespace account at the end of last because I really wasn't utilizing it, and it was so much money. But yeah, that was one of their slogans, like we never go down. Even I remember during Hurricane Sandy, they didn't go down because their company, if I remember correctly, was based originally somewhere in Lower Manhattan.
Yes, it was in Hudson Square. I do believe.
Okay, yeah, and they did not go down during Sandy.
Man, yeah. I tell you, I was like, what is going on? And I'm like, and it was everything yesterday. It was everything was successful at the end of the day, but every single thing I did yesterday had a glitch.
It was the devil testing your patience. That's all.
I was like, what is going on? It was I talked to Dr. Tachi yesterday, and I said, Tachi, it was one of those days. At first, I was like, is the universe like off balance, or is it just me? Literally everything. Then also my Wi-Fi didn't work. It was glitching out. I was like, this is some kind of day. At one point, I was like, maybe I should just go back to sleep.
One of those type of days.
Yeah,
okay.
When I have those glitch days, or I just want to go back to sleep. But I got a lot accomplished. I went back over and experiment with some new things again. So I keep tweaking my website, so it's getting better and better. I found a new way to do something, and I was like, oh, now this looks so good.
But that's how these things work. You play around, you experiment, and then that's how you find things. And people always say, well, how are you so tech savvy? No, it's a matter of trial and error, and you play with things, you ask people questions, and you find things out. That's all.
I'm learning so much in this. So one of my friends, he's in Massachusetts. He says, Ron, because he sent me his website, just a little short website for his speaking. And he says, wow, your website looks amazing. Who's doing your website? Because he hired someone. I said, I'm just plowing through it. I'm doing it myself. I said, I'm learning. I said, I'm that guy, though, that will take time to learn it. I feel it's better for me to know how to do it, because God forbid, especially if I'm traveling, if I'm overseas, I'm in a different place, I need to know how to fix my website if it goes down. I need to know how to adjust. I need to know who to call. I need to know what buttons to click.
Right. Plus, you're the one that created it. I mean, there's something about taking ownership of something you create, and then also, you don't have to, especially because you're going to be traveling around the world. You don't have to be worrying about, what time is it where I am, and what time is it where I need to get in touch with someone? Are they up now? Do I have to wait 8 hours before they can make the fix? Whereas you can just say, all right, you know what? Let's go in here so we can fix this. And then also, I don't know if they still have great technical support, like how you called yesterday. Someone picks up and says, all right, or when I mean call, online chat or
they definitely
whatever.
sent me an email. They sent me an email within, I would say 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
That's
They
really
sent the
good.
email and they
With
said, this is somebody, I forgot the name of the person, from Manhattan. And I was like, okay. And then it says, this is what's going on today. We've been experiencing difficulties. We've been upgrading, la, 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 la. So I said, okay.
And that's normally what happens when you upgrade something, you always break something.
Well, they got a lot of upgrades. Let me tell you, the bells and whistles on Squarespace is insane. I am just like experimenting with so many things. I'm like, oh, this makes better sense.
So here's a little pointer too, just so people that know. When you design your own web page and stuff like that, most of these times when you go to these companies, you have to buy your domain name. I highly always recommend, even if you don't use your website or you decide not to go forward with it, keep your domain name. Keep up to date with that payment. That's really a yearly payment. Even though I don't have my website right now, I still own my domain name. And because my domain name is attached to the email address that I have, because my email address is not, they use Google services, but it does not have a Gmail ending. It's my name and attached to the domain name. So whenever I want to go back and say I want to start up my website again, I don't have to go through hoops to get a name or whatever. It's just there. I just need to pay for the service of the website. So I still have it. So even if you don't have a website now, and you plan on, getting a business or using it for a portfolio later on down the road, look into getting and owning your domain name, and then also maintaining it by paying that bill when it's due, because the worst thing you can do is have a domain name, and then, because there are people out there that are scavenging for those domain names.
Yes, I believe they do.
I can't remember who it was. If it was, I think it was Google at one point had their domain name lapse by accident, and they ended up having to pay the guy who bought it for like next to nothing to get it back. And this is a story you hear all the time.
I had a friend that used to work at the Container Store with me. She literally, how she made some of her money is that she would look at certain things online, and then she would create a domain name based on different companies.
Yeah.
And then when those companies wanted to buy their name, they had to go to her.
Yeah.
She made money off of domain names.
People make a business out of that.
I was shocked when she told me. I was like, "Are you serious?" She's Ronna. She goes, "I have a couple of domain names for you." And at first she had like a list of names, but she was like, "I'm not selling them to you. I just want you to know I have a couple of that I came up with." And they just sit around and think of domain names for companies.
Because it doesn't cost that much to create a domain name. It's actually very cheap. Where the money comes in is when, what you just said, when there are these companies out there that start these companies and they don't get the domain right away, someone else grabs it, then it becomes basically you're holding that domain hostage, and they want that name. They want the simplified name. They want the name to match their company. So they're willing to pay anything to get that name back.
I set up
so something that costs like maybe $50 will end up costing this company thousands of dollars to get that name back.
To buy the name.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I immediately, once I saw TouchBase Daily was moving and kind of like we were doing things, I was like, I don't need it right now. I don't need a TouchBase Daily website yet, but I did buy the domain. I put it up and just got my domain. It pays once a year. I have to pay for my
once a year. Mine's always in December. All myself.
Anyway, some good mornings in the building. There are some folks in the building, and if you're in the building, make sure you touch. Make sure you click the likes. And I see Hannah is the first person in the building. Hannah, your poster is on its way. Since it was a glitch day, I was able to leave my computer, walk away, and just went to the UPS. Well, my what do you call open box store still did not get the tubes. So I said, you know what? Let me just go to UPS. So I went to UPS, and your poster is on its way. You and Dr. Tachi's. And Brian's in the building. Brian Young is in the building. He says, happy Wednesday, fam. Mr. B is missed. Mr. B, what's going on? We miss you, sir. It's always good to see you here. And wonderful GR Houston Jack is in the building. Good day. And we have the wonderful Elise Stallworth in the building. Good morning, everyone.
Can I just comment since we had that up?
Yes,
Elise, kudos to you. This one's out there doing the work on the streets. She interviewed Jolly yesterday on her channel.
Did she?
While she was,
wait a minute.
Yes, how did you miss that? I posted it on my page. Yeah, she walked down to I believe it was Union Station, and he was out there, and she was able to interview him.
Wow.
It's on her page.
What a great interview. Whoa. I mean, Jolly's big.
I posted her in my stories also.
Wow. Well, that was great. At least you have to tell. I mean, you have to come. I'm sending out you and Gwendolyn's invite. You have to come and share about what was that like? Oh, I mean, Jolly is such a. I mean, I only know him through Don's platform, and also I've been following him for years. So it was just really good to see him. He's always out there. I didn't realize he's always out there. He's been out there for years.
Always.
So there
he reported. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was Monday. Out in one of the parks right in front of the White House, because a veteran actually burnt a flag.
Yes, he was there waiting for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once the Orange Menace signed that executive order. This man is not doing anything besides writing executive orders. And it's so funny because years ago, he complained when Obama did it. Now, mind you, he's done 3 times the amount of executive orders in 6 months that Obama did in his 4 years.
Yes.
He said, if you're a president, you're doing executive orders, you're not really working, and you don't need to be in office. All the things he's projected, all the things.
He's such trash. I mean, I just don't like him. I don't like
either. I'm gonna try to keep it mellow today.
Yeah, I said this. I'm going to talk less about him because there's some things we can control, and there are other things we cannot control. And he is going to be president regardless, unless God takes him out. Please. He's going to be president. So we can't change
The Simpsons have let us down twice now already.
The Simpsons let us down. Sorry. I don't believe the Simpsons any longer.
Yeah, neither do I. That's so bad.
Simpsons.
Someone was like, this prediction doesn't go right. They should be pulled off the air and canceled. They've been on the air for what, 30-something years? Probably no longer than that.
I think it's the longest animation on television.
Yeah, probably the longest show period on television.
They've been on TV a long time.
Yes, Kimmy Kim, I'm trying to be PG today. We're going to keep the show PG. Well, I'm going to try to keep the show PG. I don't know what happens when Gwendolyn comes on. Because
Gwendolyn has an event today. She has her small bites. Yeah, maybe she'll talk about that when she pops on, if she pops on.
Okay.
But I did send an invitation in case they want to pop one. And so what else? Who else is in here? Who else? And we got the great Bryson in the building. What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, everybody? Happy Wicked Wednesday. I'll be up in New York City today.
Okay.
Well, I hope you reach out. If you don't reach out, I won't hang out with you. But like I always say, I make time for people in this community. If you're in New York City, I do make time. Right, Elise? So if you're in the New York area, let me know and we can schedule some time together. It would be nice to meet you in person, Bryson. Kelly A is in the business. Good morning, everyone. The weather in Nashville is simply divine. Low humidity in the 70s. The whole East Coast. I don't know.
Yeah, we've been doing really good.
I don't know about Miami, but in Florida, but everything on the east is nice. The weather is beautiful. No low humidity. I know there's a tropical storm that's brewing off the coast. That's going to be maybe rolling up the coast by Monday or Tuesday. But it's going to be beautiful. This is one of the best Labor Day weekends in New York City coming up. It's wonderful. It's going to be cool. I love it. 70s is not cool. That's regular. It's not normal for this time of year. But
for summertime,
yeah, it is still August for now. And let's see who else is in here. Kelly. Hey, Miss Kimmy Kim is in the building. She says, "Hi, everyone." Kimmy, that was not your voice. I just did that because it just sounded good for me in my head. And Brian says, "Fingers crossed." Fingers crossed. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? Not only
Listen,
did you say it,
the quiet things out
you
loud.
typed it.
We're all saying the quiet things out loud.
We're saying it all out loud.
You have to speak into an existence, right?
As they used to say, yes, speaking in existence. That's what the mamas used to say at church. Mimi says, "Good morning, Ron, Chris, and RP crew." Yes, indeed, and yes, sir. The weather is nice, says Mimi. The West Coast is hot. So those on the West Coast, they're getting a heat wave. So it's always the balance. If the East is cool, then the West is hot. And if the West is cool, the East is hot. For the most part. Sometimes we get the whole country ablazed. And but that's the weather patterns for we who study a little bit of meteorology. It was a hobby. But we had to learn it in aviation. Yeah. It was part of our curriculum. See here. What else? Okay. Well, I do believe there's a doorbell. There's someone paddling up to the walking up the steps, walking up the pathway. I see. And so what? I think there's a doorbell about to ring. I think somebody's about to ring the doorbell.
You can see out that window that they're coming.
I can see out the window. I can see.
Yeah.
I'm like that nosy neighbor. Somebody in the building knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them. Looking out at the neighbors. What's going on, please?
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning, Street Warrior.
Street Warrior. I saw you and your husband. I always, keep your stuff, going. Right. I've always put her in my stories. And so she and her husband were walking in DC. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago? You and your husband. That was yesterday. Yeah. So I did see that video, but I did not see you and Jolly.
Okay, so that was after, like the first video, if you watch the whole live, because that was the live, right?
Yes.
So you watch it, that's when I actually spoke to one of the veterans in the tent.
Mm-hmm.
And she spoke for quite a while. So that's when I first went in there. And of course, that's when I first saw National Guardsmen pop up, right?
Yeah.
First it was 3 that walked around the far side. Then it was 2 that decided to walk right behind us. In between the tent, and I was like, okay, so intimidation is the point.
Wow.
Then it was about 6 of them that gathered just on the other side. So I just turned the video around to face them. So one of them waved, I waved back too. I said, hey.
Why? Unbelievable. There's somebody else in the door. There's somebody at the door, and there she is, Miss GR.
Hey.
Check.
We got disco lights today.
Yeah, she's partying. She's gonna be dancing.
It's Disco Wednesday.
Look at the lights flashing. I was like, is something going on with her screen?
It's Virgo season.
It's Virgo season.
Oh God, she is really into this Virgo season.
Gwendolyn is into her Virgo-ness.
Yes, she is.
Anyone that is into their Virgo, their sign, like Gwendolyn.
No, I think it's a Virgo thing. It really is a Virgo thing. I mean, it's hard. Like when you go on social, that's all you see is Virgo season, and like they're going all out.
Really?
All out. Like they haven't been out the house in 5 years.
I mean, what is it about Virgos that have to advertise their signs?
I'm sorry. Hello, we're Virgos.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all we need to know, right? That answers the question just in her remarks there.
Is your son like that, Ms. Elise?
Well, maybe not as much, but his birthday is coming. He's like, I'm trying to figure out my birthday, and people want to go hang out for my birthday. It's like, oh man, I have to change my plans. Virgos like to have what they want to do.
And Virgos always gotta have a plan.
Sometimes they don't want you to interject into their plans.
They gotta have a plan. They always have a plan. They always got something going on.
Oh
They
yeah,
are the busy bees of the zodiacs.
all the time.
The
Yeah, and
busy
Leos too.
bees.
Yeah, Leos is the same too.
So,
Leos too.
but
But
anyway,
so
so
with
so
Jolly
now
Ginger,
talking about
Good Ginger.
Jolly,
So
what was
Jolly Good Ginger.
Yes.
He came up right before I was like starting to walk around. Right after I started walking around, and he came up and he was actually kind of huddling up with some of the other veterans to talk about what their strategies were. You know, they were making sure that if anybody, you know, talking about down to the minute details of if someone had medication they needed, who needed to rest, and all those kinds of things. And their ultimate goal is, if this continues, is to try to get 1,000 veterans in each one of the cities they try to occupy. And so their conversation is really directed toward the National Guard to say, hey, you really don't have to do this. And they have a number to call. And of course, they had their website, and they were taking donations for a while yesterday, but they got so many, so they were so overwhelmed with the donations. He's like, okay, just thank them and everything like that. But my whole point of talking to him was so that he could say what their goal was and what they were doing. And his focus is really around ICE, and their intention is to stay here as long as the National Guard is here, as long as military is present in the city. They plan to stay in the city. So they actually started Monday. And since that time, you know, there were people coming off the train when I was like coming from the train station to join them. There's some that live in the area, and they'll join and be a part of the day group, and making sure that they understand that they can't sleep in those tents, but they can be in the tents. So they're not bothering the tents. They have people who, of course, who are walking up and trying to, you know, they walk past because, you know, I don't like the fact that they have the flag upside down, which is hilarious, because when they weren't happy about the election results in 2020,
they had the flag upside down.
Even the flag down, which is a sign of distress.
Even SCOTUS, one of the SCOTUS members' wives did it. Remember?
Right. One of them did.
Allegedly.
We are definitely in distress.
Right, and so that's what the sign is, and so that's the point of the flag being upside down. But they're a very determined and committed group of people. Jolly is a very focused and nice gentleman, and very nice. So we talked for a little while off camera, and he introduced me to another gentleman, Walter Mason, I think is Walter's last name. So Walter decided that he wanted to interview me for what he does, and he's one of those people that you see when you see him, you'll know who he is. Kind of small white guy, wears glasses, and really gets on racist people a lot. So he was there, and he was getting ready to, I guess he was packing all the stuff up, and so he decided to, since I live in DC, he decided to talk to me. You know, and that was the thing I kept emphasizing. That I'm 49. We've been here for 49 years. And it's important that we talk to people who've been here, and of course describing to them what I've been doing, which is I came out before the occupation, and now it's to see what's going on with this right now. So Jolly's made a perfect point of what he wanted to do. They have a website, which is rememberyouroath.org, and they gave a phone number, which I put in my post, so that those National Guardsmen who aren't comfortable with what they're asking them to do will be able to call that number and find out what their rights are, right? And so one of the things that I think people need to be really clear on, National Guardsmen are active when they're called up to be active. When the person who currently occupies the White House, well, you know, whatever. We won't keep it light and I'm not going to keep it nice, but the clown is occupying the White House right now. When he says active duty military are people who that's their job. They're enlisted in the services and they're active. That's not the same as National Guardsmen. National Guardsmen, as you know, they leave their job. And when they're called up, they leave their job, they go and leave, and they go into action, right? And right now, it's costing us $1 million a day.
$1 million.
$1 million a day. So we're talking about $7 million a week. What can we do? What could they have done more effectively with that $7 million for a week at a time? So I think that I think people just need to be well informed. So when he's talking the difference between active duty military and National Guard, which I'm not sure if he knows, because he's a draft dodger. So I'm not sure he knows the difference between National Guardsmen and active duty servicemen, which are those that are enlisted, and that's their day-to-day job. National Guardsmen do have options. They do have rights to do whatever they want to do, to take some kind of action for themselves. And what Jolly also said was they've seen a reduction. Like you noticed that there were no vehicles out there yesterday. When the first day they arrived, the vehicles were there. Yesterday, there were no vehicles out there around Union Station when I was there during the daytime. And I know later on I saw that Jay, the veteran that burned the flag, had been released.
Yes.
But he said they had been calling his house, his relatives, and of course he told them to say, "I have nothing to say." Just hang up. So they are out here doing full court press.
And if I may interject, he was not arrested for burning the flag,
right?
Because they could not do that, because it's already been settled law and settled decision that that SCOTUS made, that you could burn a flag. It's not against the law. However, they trumped up some charges about him setting the fire in the park,
right?
And then they
public spaces, like
in a public space.
Even though it was on concrete, he made sure he wasn't on the grass to burn anything down, right? And then what an interesting thing I heard this morning is they having a difficult time getting charges for the guy who threw the sub sandwich. The grand juries in DC will not allow them to bring federal charges.
He threw the Subway sandwich at the National Guard.
So he, but
or was it ICE? Did he throw it at ICE or
it was an officer? It was a federal agent.
It was a federal agent.
They have, the people they brought in for grand jury in DC have refused to allow them to bring federal charges against this man, which is a good thing. So I think it's a good thing, and I think that seeing that Jolly and the veterans group is getting larger. I think the first day was like 5, and he said it was up to 12, and they know that more people are coming, and they're getting supplies, and it's great that people donated to them. I think we all have to figure out what we can do, and right now, what I can do is my best to be on this, try to be outside, and then whatever things that I know that will help the citizens of DC, like the videos I made directed at parents, guardians, and students.
Yeah, that was really good.
Helpful for them to stay safe, because they're going to go to certain schools in the district, because they're heavily populated with immigrant students, and so they're going to be outside those places. So I just see that as my role as far as what I can do and really do, not just sit at home talking on a camera and talking through a phone, but be out there letting people know actually what's happening in the city. And then the walk from where my husband and I walked from, I would say we're 14th Street, all the way over to Union Station, which is quite a distance, right? There was, there you can see that there's not as many people out on the street. Of course, nobody wants to be out there to be harassed. And then I think people are just purposely not going down there. But for the people who were there, it was the same quiet day as it always is downtown DC. People walking, going out to lunch and going to work. There was nothing there. The most disturbance that's happening in DC is caused by the occupation of DC. And then you got National Guardsmen picking up trash.
Yes, I saw that this morning. I was like, then they were saying it costs, what is it, $100 something, or I think it is per week for them to pick up garbage. I'm sorry, a day for the sanitation people. And then they said the National Guard is doing it for $500 a day.
Right. And so with
the waste of money.
So let me tell you what people need to know about DC. Okay, so when you see what a National Guardsman, it look like a park, right?
Yes.
So those are national parks.
Yes.
who's supposed to take care of that? Park service.
Yes.
This happened to park service since this person entered the office. He's cut them back. He's cut the number of people in park services. But downtown, like what we have what they call bids, and that's like business groups, right? Too. Each one of those have a team of people who physically go within those bids with their thing all day long, cleaning up any trash that's around those bids all day. I think one of the videos, my first video, when I walked out, you saw a guy in a red shirt with one of those containers. He worked for that particular downtown part of the bid. Georgetown has one. So it's not like streets are just littered. They're going into the national parks, and that's probably tourists. You know, it's not even about DC people. It's about the people who don't clean up behind themselves that are visiting the city. That's what you see there. And you know, so walking, I saw a couple of homeless people and everything out there. But what are the services? You can take them off the street, but if they're out, homeless shelters put them out in the daytime. So even if there's a shelter, so what programs do they have in place to address them when they're out in the daytime, especially those who are unemployed? Because we know a lot of people who are in homeless shelters are employed. They're not all unemployed, which is contrary to what people believe.
Yes.
But when you see National Guardsmen cleaning up like that and it looks like a park, most of us, with everything down there that looks like a park in DC is all federal, all under National Park Service. Rock Creek Park, which is here, is National Park Service.
Wow. Well, let me give Gwendolyn some space, some platform here. So Gwendolyn, you have a small bites today, correct?
Small biz bites? No, we're gonna have to reschedule.
Oh no!
Yeah, okay. So John is a well-known commercial photographer.
Yes,
who is always doing something.
Yes,
and so it was late yesterday afternoon. He's like, "I hate to tell you this, we need to reschedule." I was like, I get it because
it happens.
It's late summer, early fall. People are into all the things, and I was like, no, but it's okay.
Okay. No,
I got that time back to do some other stuff. So
I signed up for it because you had a sign up. It went out as a sign up, and so I signed up, and I was like, "Wow, this is different from Gwendolyn." She put a sign up. I'd be like, "Okay, signing up."
I got it. I typically put it out, but I just forget to send invites. But thank you for reminding me because I have not gone back to cancel that one. I canceled everything else, right? Like the YouTube, the LinkedIn. And I was like, oh, I did not do that. So thank you for reminding me to go and do that. But yeah, I was just like, no, but John's great. I mean, he's one of my lighting mentors. Yeah, he's so easy to talk to. So he was like, yeah, let's do it. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes. And if any photographers that will see this, I know there's some that are watching this is, a lot of photographers hang out in this community. If you are in season 4, starts September 2nd. So Labor Day we will not be on Labor Day. And we will not be on for our game night on Sunday. So taking this whole weekend off. And then we will start season 4.
Wow.
And I can't believe it, right? Season 4 of Touch Base Daily here on YouTube. And what I will be sending out this week, lots of invitations. So there'll be invitations going out to a lot of the photographers that I met during our World Photography Day here in New York City. But if you do not get an invitation, that doesn't mean you're not invited. Make sure you reach out to me. And I did. You know what? What's her name? Harris. Last night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, she said, "Slide into my DMs."
Tiffany Haddish.
I said, I am not outdated.
It's a common phrase, but it's how you said it and what you followed up with that made it a little creepy.
That was a little suspect.
Please.
That's all.
So the photographers out there, reach out to me. You can either put it in the comments here,
or in the DMs,
or you can just slide into my DMs.
See, you just feel like send me a comment in my DM. When you say slide into my DM, the connotation of that is a little bit different than send me a DM. Wow. So it's a lot different. There's a difference.
Yes.
Now, in your private time, you can tell people to slide into your DM. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, I slid into my husband's DMs. It wasn't that intentionally, but hey, that's how it happens.
That's how it happened, right? That's the way it is. Sometimes you never know who may slide in there.
Yeah. Might find the love of your life in that slidden DM.
You never know. You never know. Look, with Tiffany Haddish,
she was crazy last night. Oh
look,
my God.
Don't watch her anymore. After she took her trip to Israel and the stuff that she tried to say, I lost all.
You lost the connection with her.
Whatever she had to say. Yeah, because you went over there. You didn't go to Gaza. You just went to Israel because you're Jewish. You know, so I'm Jewish because her father, I think, is Eritrean, or I think he's Eritrean. And so when she came back in her commentary, I was like, nah, she's not for me anymore. And that's just how I am. It's like, they can be as funny as they want to be, but that's the way I am, because we got to have humanity.
Yes, we do.
You can go and not be connected to humanity. That's a problem for me.
Yeah. I hear you. There's a lot of people this year I had to cut off. I mean, I used to I was a Bill Maher. I religiously look at it on Fridays. I would always tune in, and now I'm like, I mean,
what happened to him, Ron? What's wrong?
Morning Joe. I used to be. I mean, I used to love me some Morning Joe. I would be Morning Joe every morning and get my news and everything from there. You realize that where people stand when they make their stance, and you have to say either you're with it or you're not. Do you support them or you do not? So. There's been a lot of people that I had to, I mean, online or media.
In real life.
Yeah. I had to cut off.
Did any of you all see the clip from Morning Joe where he was talking to the mayor of Chicago?
No.
When
was this?
There's the clip. You saw it, Gwendolyn?
I did see it.
Yeah.
He was so dead set on getting the mayor to talk about why having more police presence and having this military presence would help in cutting down crime. And he was like, I'm not agreeing to that. And I don't blame him. I mean, he kept going back to it. And I thought, do you not hear what this man is telling you, that there are other ways to really solve the problem that we're seeing? And it's not like Chicago is some outlier. Let's just be honest. It's not. If you have more people, you have more humans, you have more issues. I mean, look at New York City. Hello. So it's not like there's not crime in any other place, but he kept going back to, but don't you think if you had them there that would show? And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I love it. I mean, I don't watch Morning Joe either, but that clip, I was like,
that clip was really good, because he was trying to force him to say that 5,000 more police on the street would do XYZ. He said back in the 90s, they had 3,000 more police on the street and it didn't stop anything. So, but what I liked about the mayor was, even though he kept coming at, I mean, literally, he was trying to force this man several times to agree with him. And the mayor eventually took it over and said, so it would help if you did this, if it was in conjunction with that. He went down the whole list about, improving the quality of life, decreasing poverty, improving education, healthcare.
Yes.
He went down the whole list, so that eventually, Joe was sitting there like, okay, he knew that he wasn't going to get him to say what he wanted him to say. And I think that's a real strong point of these Black officials, the Black men who've been actually kind of pushing back.
He's been doing good. He's been holding his own in Chicago.
Oh yeah, and you have to watch that clip. You have to find the clip, because it was an excellent.
Check your our private chat. I put a link in there. I'm pulling up another one right now.
Yeah, that was an excellent clip, because he was really trying to he was badgering him to get him to say what he wanted him to say. And she's tapping him on the arm. I was like, girl, this is not going to work with this man. He's not going to acquiesce to what you want to do. He's not going to be bullied into it. Basically, it was him trying to bully him, browbeat him into saying what he wanted to say.
Yeah. disappointing to see, like, for somebody. I was never a Morning Joe poster, and so, you know, it wasn't a big deal to me. But as a person who is interviewing somebody, the fact that you keep going back to it after the person has told you where they stand, it was like, dude, this is awful. This is awful as an interviewer. Like, you could be so much better. You really could. But he did lay out the idea, and this is what I don't get now, and I'll let you play the clip after this, but it is a matter of, yeah, you can have a police force and okay, great, but you got to give people something else to do. When people have their hands in something, then they don't get into other stuff. Like, if you want to get the kids out of the problem, then give them a youth club, right? People want to do stuff. But
people want to do things.
Investing in the community, like a community garden or whatever, like that's going to help in the long run versus bringing in this police force. And these people do some of the dumbest stuff. Like, I don't know why we can't think about like how we're approaching a situation. I don't know why we're not there yet.
But the whole thing about the money being spent could be spent on education. I mean, think about you. What's the number, Lise? A week, or is it a month? You gave that number?
Oh, it's $1 million. Talking about $1 million a day.
$1 million
a day.
Could you imagine what you could do with a society?
How about putting that into solving the homeless problem? I think that's
solve the homeless. You could have feeding. You could feed people. You can give education. You can give scholarships. You can help with education. You can even give money for proper policing. Also, you can give money to social services to help with people. That's $1 million a day?
That's not what this administration is about. That's not what this administration is about. They're about cruelty.
The cruelty is the point.
Not about helping. So you see homeless people, their goal is not to help homeless people.
Yes.
To make an example of it all.
Criminalize being homeless. I mean, you're already at the bottom, at the lowest point in your life. And because you're unhoused now, well, we're going to put you in jail. What sense does that make?
The insanity of it all. Anyway, let's go to the videotape.
So go start it, I think, 248 in the video, Ron.
248?
Yeah.
Oh, I like when you do that, sir. You're the man. You are the man.
Go back.
248.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Right there. Here we go.
5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago.
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, that's number 2. Now, after the second non-answer, Scarborough asked a third time.
If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer.
It wasn't an arbitrary number, it was a specific number. But the man either does not believe or will not admit that more police on the streets would deter crime, even though we know it would. Look, this aspect of crime isn't complicated. If you have more police, you will get less crime. Except for the most far-left scholars of criminology, experts, even those who support criminal justice reform, as I do, agree that when you have more members of law enforcement patrolling the streets, busting the bad guys, and clearing cases, well, yes, you get less social disorder, not as many incidents of crime.
And the people from the Hill are always crazy. They are always good.
I wish that's not the one you should have been posting, but that.
Yeah, no, sorry. I thought that was the right one. I have another one that was on MSNBC. I put in a group chat.
Yeah, because that one, it has.
Yeah, the Hill is always on the side of trying to take over and trying to. They are very Trumpian, so just saying. So.
Yeah, so go to the other one. So this one's titled "Chicago Mayor Vows to Stand Up to Trump as City Braces for ICE Raids." I just put it in the chat. Yeah, this is MSNBC.
Here we go.
From the weekend.
Let me go there. Da, da, da. This is here we go. Okay, here we go. Oops. Can you guys not hearing it? Hold on a second.
No.
Hold on.
Joy Reid posted it too.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I saw Joy Reid.
The street Saturday as part of the nationwide No Kings protests, marching against Trump's increasingly authoritarian policies, including recent ICE raids across the country. This comes as Chicago officials brace for workplace immigration raids in the area, causing local businesses to fear for their workers. Last week, demonstrators clashed with ICE agents in Chicago's South Loop, where immigration officials said they had final orders of removal by a judge. Chicago's elected officials confirmed around 20 people were detained and are now required to wear ankle monitors. Joining us now is the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Mayor Johnson, welcome back to the weekend. There was a large turnout in your city yesterday. What's your reaction to the demonstrations yesterday, but also to Chicagoans' reaction to what the Trump administration is doing in your city?
Well, thank you for having me back, and happy Father's Day to all of the fathers who are celebrating today. And, you know, yesterday,
That's an old clip. Okay.
Over the course of several weeks.
So it's on Joy Reid's page, if you go there.
Demonstrators who are.
Because it was definitely, what was good about what's happening in Chicago is that the mayor he's been online I would say every day for the last 4 or 5 days. And so Chicago is getting a lot more coverage and a lot more interviews are going on with people. But the Chicagoan people are not settling for ICE being in their neighborhoods. They're not settling. And just like people said in New York, they say if they come to New York, there's going to be some problems. But anyway, but that whole confutation with Joe Scarborough was, wow, I did not see that. And thank you guys.
It's on Joy Reid. It's on Joy Reid's page. If you do want to show the Joy Reid page, it's in the chat as well.
Okay, so let's see here. Let me see if I can pop this on the screen. Okay, this is on Instagram. Okay, great.
Yeah,
So we'll do it real quick.
This
is the beauty of live, y'all. This is the beauty of live. Here you go. Here we go. And
to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago. Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful, if that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago?
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important. I just need a yes or a no, and then this will be the last time I ask. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer. What I'm saying is policing and affordable housing. It's policing and mental and behavioral health care services. It's policing and youth employment. It's a full package. Of course, we want to make sure that our police department is fully supported. That's why I've invested in our Detectives Bureau, because what we have seen in the city of Chicago, when we solve crime, it acts and serves as a deterrent. It's policing and all of the other efforts that we're doing. Here's the last thing that I'll say to that. The federal government could work stronger to coordinate with my police department to get guns off the streets of Chicago. We've seen these efforts work. Just a couple of weeks ago, the ATF working with my police department, we removed over 150 guns off the streets of Chicago that were trafficked in through Mississippi and Indiana. No one is saying that police officers don't play an incredible role in driving safety. They play an absolute pivotal role in that. But we have asked law enforcement to do too much. Police officers are being asked to be social workers, counselors. What I'm simply saying is, if we're going to build safe and affordable cities across America, the one thing that safe communities all have in common, they invest in people. We have a poverty issue in the city of Chicago and cities across America. Police officers alone will not put food on the table. Police officers alone will not guarantee a high quality education. Police officers alone won't drive down unemployment. We need all of it. The President of the United States of America and the federal government could restore Medicaid. They could restore SNAP. They could stop defunding our public education system. Here's the most important point here. Justice Brandeis, over 100 years ago, the first Jewish American to sit on the Supreme Court, he said that we could either have a democracy or wealth in the hands of the concentrated few, but we cannot have both. We are fighting for our democracy and our humanity right now. This president's nescience of the Constitution will leave irrevocable harm on posterity. That's why, as mayor of the city of Chicago, we are standing up to tyranny, and American cities across this country are doing the same.
Woo!
He said what he said.
Now that is how you come back.
That's how you do it. And
that's how you do it.
And that's the part that infuriates them so much.
Ooh,
is that they think they keep wanting to tell people how unintelligent these people are. When there's some of the most intelligent people out there. Wes Moore he's a Rhodes Scholar.
Yes.
He's a Rhodes Scholar. So
and served in the military.
And he served in the military.
Got medals.
Yes, and so when they try to tell these, and when you out there using vocabulary that they probably had to look up after he finished.
Yes, he was.
They're like,
now, people don't realize that he used to be a school teacher. Wasn't he the school teacher?
He might have been. I'm not
sure. I think he's a school teacher. And he pulled out that information. Man, that was nice.
But you know, he knew he had to. He knew he had to, because you're sitting in what's supposed to be an interview.
Yes.
But it's really a bullying and badgering session.
Yes. Yes. And he did not back down.
I'm going to handle this. I am going to totally take over this conversation. I'm going to get all my points out and shut him down. He had to shut this man down.
He shut him down.
And she's feeding him the stuff on the side.
Yeah, but what I love though is MSNBC did take the tactic of taking him off the screen and putting the mayor full screen so that he could get his point across. That was important. Because they took away the opportunity for him to interject anymore.
Right. Which was great. It was great to just have him in the frame, saying the things that need to happen, the things that he is doing, which is why the crime has dropped in Chicago. And that's the same thing with the mayor of Baltimore, the governor of Maryland.
But see, they're not asking the more important questions. Why are they asking these about these red states that had the higher crime rates? Because Chicago, Baltimore, New York, DC, their crime rates are all down, and they're not in the top 8, if I remember correctly.
They're not.
Most of them are these red states.
Hold on. Dr. Tachi says also, I need for all these networks to stop thinking that anybody can be a journalist. Joe Scarborough has no journalistic background. Hence, his method of interviewing people, deplorable. Says
totally
Dr. Tachi.
It is awful.
I totally agree. And
he was bullying. He was bullying, but I did not. Well, like I said, I haven't looked at Morning Joe in ages, but this was
Yeah, he was bullying. He was trying to get him to say what he wanted to say, and he had that specific number. Why did you pull out 5,000? Where did that number come from? Where'd you all get that? It's all a thing. And then I like the fact that the mayor said, "Okay, so we have a problem with guns coming from Mississippi and Indiana."
That's right. Those southern states.
Aren't they red states?
They're red states.
They're being controlled by red states, right?
And that's the case with New York.
DC.
New York's gun problem comes from the southern states.
Right, which is the same thing with DC. They're coming in from Virginia and North Carolina. They're coming from the Carolinas and Virginia over into DC. These guns aren't just in DC, right? So they're being brought in. And then as we keep saying, when you talk about the 19 states that he's talking about infiltrating, what are those 19 states? And then you look at the red states where crime is higher. Their people are in those top 10s, but they're not sending anyone down there to Memphis. They're not sending, not that I want a military any place for occupation, but what are you talking about the increase in policing down there? And that's what that you can't ask. But I think I like the fact that he focused on what needs to happen.
Yes.
And what he's already doing.
And in conjunction with, we'll take your 5,000, but it's in conjunction with all these other services that will make crime go down and make it better for the people and the citizens of the city of Chicago.
Right. Absolutely.
And that was priceless. I love when he brought the education, he gave the information the way it was supposed to be delivered, and he shut Joe Scarborough down. And because Joe could be a push. He's a pushover. I mean, how many people he's pushed? Like when he got into with what's his name? The black guy that put him in place, Michael Steele.
Oh,
when they got into their confutation, and he said, "Wait a minute, no, Joe, no, Joe. Let me tell you, because Joe Scarborough could be a bully."
But I think that a lot of bullies, if you notice, are mediocre people.
Very. They tend to be. And
they have their own set of challenges.
So here's some breaking news on ABC.
Yeah, wait. Oh. You said breaking news, sir? Did you say breaking news?
Yes, we have.
There we go.
So ABC is reporting that 2 dead, over a dozen hurt in shooting at Catholic schools in Minneapolis. Shooter contained. So it seems like there's another mass shooting in America. All it takes is for school to start. Schools is just starting, and here we go again. This is a problem. Guns kill people, and people with guns kill people. When are we going to talk about it?
This is the only country in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I can go on with this topic, but anyway, we're going to end it here. Thank you guys. Again, Fifi, I keep posting what Fifi says. And Fifi said to everyone, she says, "Hey everyone, please hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes if you are enjoying this what we're doing here and what you are hearing. Also, we have a couple of banner stuff to go through. What's happening? And there we have it. Hold on a second. Here we go. Right here." Join my email list today. News services, industry news, monthly trends, be in the know. Just go to www.ronlewisphotos.com, and it's a brand new website. So check it out. I think you're going to have some fun, and you'll get some education from my website, which is excellent. So go to that. Also, if you are looking for an event photographer, I am an event photographer, and I photograph internationally and domestic, and also locally here in New York City. And so if you're looking for a photographer for your corporate event, your family event, or whatever you need to save those beautiful memories, that's why you hire an event photographer. Also, I want to say thank you to our Patreon members. If you're not a Patreon member, become one. Just join the Patreon. Just go to patreon.com, put Ron Lewis Photos in there, and then become and support us at what we do here. You can also support with that little dollar bill thing on the comment box and YouTube. You can do that as well there. And if you're not, you are invited to join our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Okay, guys? So make sure you like and subscribe. And also, I would like to just say one more. Give it a share. Share it to your friends. Share it with your friends. That's how we grow. We want to grow. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can do some new stuff. We have some more abilities here. And so share it with your friends, share it with your family members, share it with anyone. Take this, since we're off this weekend, take the weekend to go to some of our old shows and just share them. Just share them. Yeah. Some of our lessons and everything else. Just share.
Like, okay. I'm never off on the weekends. I go to art stuff on the weekends.
And buy art.
I haven't bought any recently.
Okay.
I'm trying not to buy any. Look, I'm trying not to buy any more before next year.
Okay, you're on a sabbatical.
I'm on sabbatical. However,
you're gonna try.
However,
I have pieces that have already been purchased.
Oh,
they're not present in my house yet. So they were purchased a while ago, and it's like, I'm gonna hook up with y'all one day, and I'm gonna get it.
So anyway, Gwendolyn, where can people find you?
GR Houston Jack, yeah, on YouTube, and then Black Power Bunny.
Yeah, that one. And Elise, where can people find you?
So Elise ALIEZ _ on Instagram, and Elise Stallworth on YouTube. Nice.
And Chris, where can people find you, sir?
People can find me on YouTube, on Instagram, on Threads, on Blue Sky at Constantly Changing for Me. And also, please go and watch Safe Space. The first 2 episodes are live on my channel, and the next 3rd episode comes out this Friday.
Nice. See, Chris was ready. He was like, "Let me get my little trigger."
If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready.
And you can find me everywhere on social media, or really Instagram and YouTube. And I have lots of posting to do from our meetups that we did this weekend. So that I did a video, put that out there. We had a great time Saturday. And but this week, let's do something really good. Again, let's just make sure we motivate other people and motivate ourselves to do better and help society and the people around us. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I am going to have a special meeting in the city in a little bit, so pray for some interesting opening doors, and maybe I could talk to them about that soon.
Absolutely.
So things are happening behind the scenes, some good stuff, and I see some here. Let me go back to. I see some people putting here. What's up? Gun control, Medicare, trouble. Oh no, gotcha. So we all set up there. Okay, good.
Gun control is not on their list. And one of the things that's interesting, I saw a clip that was interesting to me because the person had a rifle. However, that person clearly was not a National Guardsman. He was with the group of agents, but who was that person?
It was a militia, one of those white militias. I'm sorry.
And Pirro has said you can bring rifles into DC. But don't let it be a DC resident, but you can bring rifles into DC.
Yeah.
I think everybody stay conscious. Everybody make sure they find some joy in their day every day. I've undertaken a little project that I'm working on, and hopefully we'll finish today, if not tomorrow. With one of the artists that is something that I've been crafting. So we'll see how that turns out.
So we got it going on. We got stuff going on behind the scenes. You see these 3 other people here? They have lives beyond this screen. They got things going on. They got things going
on.
We're
working.
They're busy. They're working. We're all working. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. See you on tomorrow for Trend Watch Thursday. Later. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.